Hey, scrappy people. Traci Reed here today, coming at you with day 2 of my no stress, accessible December daily project. Today I'm working with my brand new collection called the naughty list. That's what I was going to say. It's actually not. It's called All is Bright, but it does match the naughty list. That's why it's on my mind. And today I'm going to be creating four pages and some journaling cards, just like I did yesterday, and I'm going to be doing this whole series. And today, or this one, I am starting with a piece of clear acetate and the inked edge snowflakes from the All is Bright collection that are actually in the digital kit. I print and cut these out, and I'm going to make a half wreath with these gorgeous snowflakes in a rainbow, because of course a lot of things are going to be rainbow with this collection because I designed it in a rainbow. So I've got all of these put where I want them to be, and so I'm going to just glue them down with some liquid glue, Nuvo liquid glue. And then I made sure to overlap the snowflakes as much as possible, but I didn't have quite enough to make it as lush as I wanted it to be. You can see up there in the top corner with the red, it's a little bit barren, and I noticed that I missed one snowflake after I turned off the camera and I was cleaning up. I missed one of the smaller snowflakes, and so I'm going to add that in off camera, and you'll see it in the pictures at the end. But since this was a little bit barren, I decided to decorate my wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the stickers from the sticker sheet, these little baubles from the sticker sheet, and of course they're going in rainbow order, and I'm sort of tucking them underneath the snowflakes so that they look like they're sort of hanging in there instead of sitting on top. And I want to add this merry and bright word art as well. I decided that I couldn't add the merry and bright word art and the blue ball because the blue ball was too big, so I'm going to take that off, and I'm just going to put the merry and bright there in its place. It kind of works because the beginning of merry is blue, so you still get that pop of blue in the blue area. I don't know, just little things I think about that are important to me. So I'm going to glue all those down too, and now I'm going into my stash. We're going super fast because this took a little while. I got into my stash of Cocoa Daisy enamel dots, and I'm putting a matching enamel dot on the center of each of the snowflakes, and then I'm going to add in smaller ones around, just like floating around the edges of the wreath, trying to sort of fill out places where it looks a little bit wonky and fill in the whole thing. That way also too, at the top, the red and orange were in this kind of weird row with just the big ones, and so I spread them out a little bit at the top, and that worked a lot better. Slowing it down a little bit here so you can see the end product now that I am just about done putting all of these enamel dots down. All right, so this is what the end product looks like. It's going to be a beautiful divider. I'm envisioning it with a photo behind it. So for this one, I'm actually showing a few tips that are actually product based, like this one where I printed out that fa la 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 on transparency and then used my fuse to divide that page protector so that it had like a little 3-inch strip on the outside, and I thought that that would be a cool addition to the album. I didn't have any page ideas beyond that addition, so that is I'm just kind of showing off how you can use digital product in different ways, and part of that is printing it on transparency, printing it on vellum. You have a lot more options when it comes to digital product than you do to paper product because there's so much you can do. So now I am creating an envelope with some papers from the collection, and I just scored it in thirds so that it wraps around the back, and I'm going to put this envelope and another one out of that rainbow paper on just directly in the rings. So I want to add a little notch out of the top, then I'm going to fold it over and making sure to put my flap on the outside, the bottom flap on the outside, so it doesn't impede the progress of the tag that's going to go on the inside. So I'm going to repeat this process again with the striped paper. Okay, so now I have 2 envelopes, and I'm going to just use a page protector as a guide to punch the holes. And then I'm cut down 2 solid pieces of cardstock from the collection, and they're going to go right in the pockets, making sure that I don't go over the ring holes and they stick out nicely. So I'm going to put them in the pockets so that I can work with them. And when I did that, it felt like I needed something behind them to sort of interact with these pockets just as a base layer, because I felt like I didn't know what I would do with them if I didn't put something behind them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these placeholders here. I think they'll probably eventually become photos, maybe journaling, and a title in the middle. And then I'm going to wrap these lights around the title, and I'm just barely sticking everything down so that it will easily be changeable afterwards. That's the name of the game with this series. I want everything to be editable because Lord knows I change everything when I start actually scrapbooking. So I'm just barely sticking everything down so that it's just a placeholder. So you're going to be able to see this holly jolly in between the two envelopes. I thought about making it so that the envelopes didn't move separately from each other, but I decided I liked them moving separately. So later on, I can either add in some journaling to these tags, I can add more photos to these tags, whatever I want that I think will be interesting down the line. I can even take these tags out and just put straight photos in there. Who knows? We'll find out together when it is time. Oftentimes it's really hard to have like a really long, like a wide angle photo in these kind of albums. So that would be kind of good, like a panoramic in those tags. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I just added in some placeholder embellishments. This is me thinking about maybe making them move together, but I changed my mind. I added in some placeholder embellishments, and then I'm going to move on. So for this one, I had some more acetate, some paper or some papers from the collection that I printed on acetate. So I want to create a pocket on this piece of white cardstock that I had left over from trimming it down for that 6x8 page to the left. So I'm going to just use my liquid glue again, adhere around the outside edges. I'm putting it on a page extender. Then I'm just using more white cardstock to create a tag. I can change this later. I just wanted something as a placeholder. And then I remembered that I had all of those beautiful tags from the countdown tags. And so I attached one to the outside of this tag with some string. Perfect. I wanted to use some more acetate. I used mostly acetate when I printed on special medium for this collection. I want to use this as a little outside edge, and then I decided that it needed a little more, so I'm going to add this pom-pom fringe just with staples to this page as well. So I stapled the top, then I stapled the middle like this, and then I stapled the bottom, and then I added a staple in between every single pom-pom just to make sure that it would stay there. And I really like the way that the acetate plays with the in between the pom-poms and the card itself. Just putting in some placeholder cards here, just as, you know, filler, because I want to make sure I get lots of color in here, and remember that I have options. Just putting this in here as a filler as well. And then the last thing I'm going to do is create these cards. So I did not have a lot of leftover scraps after creating these pages because I used a lot of whole pages and cardstock and stuff like that. So what I decided to do instead was use the patterned cards to create collage cards. So I'm using the pattern cards and the sticker sheet, and I'm just going to make my own cards that way. I really love using the patterned cards in this way. I use them as photo mats a lot, but also you can make your own collage cards from them as well if you're really into this more layered look than what I offer in the designer cards. So this 25 is actually the offcut from one of the countdown tags from the collection. So I have a bunch of numbers from cutting out all of those tags. So I decided to take this 25 and make a card out of it. Of course, all of these presents aligned underneath a Christmas tree. It made sense to me because the Christmas tree will be overwhelmed with presents by then. But this card wasn't coming together quite how I envisioned, so I'm going to add some more to it, and it's going to be quite the card. I'm rearranging first. I'm going to put this Christmas tree over just a little bit more so less gets cut off. Okay, so what we need something here. I'm not sure what yet, but we're going to add it. Ah, that's what it is. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So that one's cute and done. I want to make sure that I make 2 journal cards, 2 designer cards, just because I always feel like I have so many designer cards when I'm using or when I'm working with December Daily. There's just so many beautiful cards that I want to put in, and there's always a lot less useful cards that I have. So I want to make sure that I create 2 journal cards as well, but this one is not going to be one. So that is another offcut that I just dyed with some Catherine Pooler ink. You can see I just pushed it down into the ink pad until it was red enough for me. And then I'm going to add these snowflakes and some word bits around it and call it good too. I always like using my scraps, and that includes the offcuts of my stencils and things that I make special for these collections. So I'm going to use this Be Bright, and I'm going to put it underneath rather than on top. I thought that I wanted to frame like Jolly with Be Bright, Be Merry, but I didn't like the way that there was so much red with that Be Merry too, so I decided to go with just the Be Bright. Gonna work on this one as a journal card. That is another, that tag is from the sticker sheet as well. This Good Cheer is actually from the digital kit. There are some rubber word bits in the digital kit that I printed and cut as well. I always like printing whatever will be good, like easy to print and cut from the digital kit too. Gives me lots and lots of options. And the last thing I'm going to do is put one of these black glitter snowflakes that are also from the digital kit on that card. And then last but not least, I need to come back to this one and finish it. It was looking a little bit sad to me, even though it says Bah Humbug, it should be nice and fun. So I cut a tag from some leftover black and white stripe. And I'm going to use that to mat that Bah Humbug. I think it matches really well with that black Christmas tree. And that makes it a little bit more dynamic and fun, which is always what I'm looking for. All right. And then I'm going to add in the strings as well to these tags just for some texture. And then some silver enamel dots all around. And I'm going to call it good. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. There is a link to the All is Bright collection in the description box below, as well as a link to this blog post with all of these pages and still images. And yeah, I will see you next time. All right. Thank you.